So today we are looking at reverse percentages. Okay, so today we're looking at reverse percentages. So the thing is with reverse percentages, it's all about your starting point. And this is why I always used to write down 100% is equal to this. If you understand the starting point of this, then it becomes really easy. So let's write a little sentence just so we can so we know our definitions. Write this down for me. With reverse percentages, the most important part is to get your starting point correct. With reverse percentages, the most important part is to get your starting point correct. Okay, so get that down first of all. Now, this is also an important question part. When we're doing reverse percentages, usually, well, not with these first two, but usually you're looking at past tense. So they're always asking the question, what was my original amount, or what was the money before? So let's just write that down. It's not all of them, but we'll say the majority of reverse percentage questions, the majority of reverse percentage questions are looking at the past tense, e.g. what was the original amount? What was the original amount? Or they might say something along of what was the value before? And notice how that both of these are kind of looking at things which are previous, okay? What was the original amount? What was the value before? So get both of those things down, and then we'll start having a look at them. So reverse percentages, the most important part is to get your starting point correct. Now, the majority of reverse percentage questions are looking in the past tense. So what was the original amount? What was the value before? Okay, so let's have a look at these ones then. So reverse percentages. So this one here is example 1. So 10% of a number is 45. What is the number? Now this is one of those questions where you've got to know the starting point. It's telling you that 10% of a number is 45. So the starting point of this is to say that 10% is equal to 45. Now it's probably worth writing here just a little hint. And the hint is our original amount is always 100%. Our original amount is always 100%. Let's just write that down there. So, if 10% of the number is 45, what is the original number? Well, we're trying to find out what 100% is. So how do I get from 10% to 100? Well, to get to 100, I need to times by 10, which means I need to times this right-hand side by 10. So 10 times by 10 is equal to 100%, which is equal to 45 times by 10, which is 450. So our original value is equal to 450. Put original amount here if you want. Alright, okay. Have a little go at that one on the right hand side there. Have a little go at that one on the right. Okay. So for this one here, we know that our starting point is to say that 20% is equal to 86. So if I'm trying to find my original amount, which is 100%, I need to times by 5, 100% is equal to 86 times by 5, which is 430. There we go. Super. Okay, so there's our 2. So let's have a look at this one now. Now this one here is a little bit trickier. So let's write this down here as example 2. Now this one here says a price is decreased by 10% and is now worth £396. Work out what the original amount is. So, the question you've got to ask yourself is, and I'm going to write this down as a little hint, what does 396, or sorry, I should say what percentage does? What percentage does 396 represent? What percentage does 396 represent? Well, if we've had a price and it's been decreased by 10%, which means it's going to be 100% was our original amount. So this is the original amount. I've been decreased by 10%. So this is the reduction. And it's now worth 90%. Now this is our new amount. Now what we're saying here is that the 396 has been reduced by 10%. So that is the new amount. So our starting point here is that 90% is equal to 396. And remember, we're trying to get to our original amount now. Okay? So to do this, it's actually quite tricky, actually, because we're going to have to... Well, there's 2 ways you can do it. We won't talk about one way for now. We can use a multiplier to get there. But what we're going to do is we're going to break it down and build it back up. So this is the non-calculator way. So we know that 90% is equal to this. So the first thing we're going to do is we go down to 10%, and then we can get back up to 100%, because that's what we need to get to. So I get to 10% by dividing by 9. Divided by 9, because 90, now usually when we find 10% we divide by 10, but that's because it's 100 divided by 10. Now our starting point is 90, it means we need to divide by 9. So 90 divided by 9 is 10%. 360, let's do this on the side. So how many times does 9 go into 396? Let's have a look at that. 9 to 3 doesn't go. Carry that. 9 into 39 goes 9, 18, 27, 36. So it goes in 4 times. Carry the 3. So it goes in 44 times. Okay. So this goes in 44 times. Now remember, we're trying to find 100%. So to find 100%, I need to times by 10, times by 10. So 100% is equal to 44 times by 10, which is equal to 440. Brilliant. Now there is a quick way to do this if you've got a calculator. Okay. Now I'm just going to write this down here. Maybe I'll make this a little bit smaller. Make that a little bit smaller, and we're just going to make a little note here. So this is for non-calculator methods. If I wanted to do this using a calculator, if we have a calculator, the easiest way is to divide by our multiplier. Now notice that 90% divided by 0.9 is equal to 100%. 90% divided by our multiplier, 0.9 is equal to 100%. So if I wanted to find this out, then I'd do, the easiest way is to do 396 divided by 0.9. Now you can't always use that if you haven't got a calculator, but I'm showing you this technique as well. So this is the calculator way, and that's the non-calculator way. So have a little go at the question on the right hand side. I'll give you a second to have a go at that. Okay, so let's have a little go at this together then. So our price is decreased by 10%, which is going to be 100% minus 10% is equal to 90%. So our starting point is that 90% is equal to 225. So then if I divide this by 9, divide by 9, divide by 9, I end up with, should do it on the side, shouldn't I really? How many times does 9 go into 225? Well, 9 into 2 doesn't go. 9 into 2 goes twice. Carry the 4. 9 into 45 goes 5 times. So divide this by 9, you get 10% is equal to 25. So times by 10 times by 10, 100% is equal to, put 250. Get rid of that. Brilliant. Now remember, there is the quick way of doing this if you have a calculator. So let me just do this in a different colour so we know. So if I had my starting point, which was 90% is equal to 225, the quick way is to divide by my multiplier. So divide by 0.9, divide by 0.9. 90 divided by 0.9 is equal to 100%. 225 divided by 0.9 is equal to 250. So this is the calculator way. And this is non-calc. There we go. Alright. Brilliant, well done. So we've got 2 questions here. Now, these are very typical questions that come up. So I will have a go at the one on the left and you can have a go at the one on the right. I'm just going to do this one quickly, only because it's ever so slightly different. I'm going to use calculator methods for this, I think. Example 3. No, it won't. It's non-calculator, this one here. So a vase is reducing the sale by 20% to 56. What was the original cost? Now the key here is what they're saying is they're finding the original cost, the original amount. What was it originally? Okay. So I know I'm going to have 100% minus 20%, which is equal to 80%. The 56 represents the 80%. So 80% is equal to 56. Now, I could find 10%. I will do that actually. So divided by 8 this time. Divided by 8 this time. Because 80 divided by 8 is 10%. 56 divided by 8 is equal to 7. Then times by 10. Times by 10. So 100% is equal to 70. Brilliant. There you go, £70. That was what it was originally. Have a little go at that one on the right. Let's have a look at it. So here with this one, 30% off. So my original amount was 100%. I've had a reduction of 30%, which is equal to 70%. So my starting point, this here, look, they're trying to find the original amount. That's important. And this here represents the new amount, doesn't it? So I'm going to start off with 70% is equal to £4.90. Let's find 10%. In fact, I'm going to use non-calculator methods here. The quickest way to do this is to divide by the multiplier. So our multiplier here is 0.7. Our multiplier here is equal to 0.7. 70% divided by 0.7 is always 100%. And then £4.90 divided by 0.7 is equal to £7 actually. Brilliant. Well done everyone. Check those. Brilliant. There we go. Alright, this is a past paper question. Have a go at this one yourself. I think you should fly through it. So let's have a little go at this one. There was a little trick in this one, wasn't it? So in the town of Orvilleton, where sales are, whenever sales are on, the sign displays 30% more expensive. So in Orvilleton, the sale makes it more expensive. That's what they're saying here. Okay. So it's a bit of a trick, isn't it? Okay. So it's 30% more. Okay. That's important. And the coat is on sale, quotation marks, that day for this. What was the original cheaper price? So it's a little bit of a trick there, isn't it? So if it's 30% more, we know that it's 100% is my original amount, plus 30% is equal to 130%. So my starting point here is that, so what does the 117 represent? Well, 130 is equal to 117%. Oh, no, pounds. Now, I'll use the non-calculator method on this because I know this came up with a non-calculator. So to find 10%, I'd actually need to divide by 13 this time. So divided by 13, 130, how many times does 13 go into 130? 10 times, that's the point. And 117 divided by 13, you've got to know your 13 times table for this one, is 9. Then, to find 100%, I need to times by 10, times by 10. So 100% is equal to 90. Brilliant. Super. Little tricky, that one. I tried to trick you there, haven't they? Alright. Little trick. So here's another one where they've increased it. Okay, Jules buys a washing machine at 20% is added to the price. Jules has to pay £600. What was the machine with no VAT? So what was the original amount, okay? Doesn't say original in this one, but that's what they're looking for. Have a little go at this one yourself. Okay, let's have a little look at this one then. So 20% was added, 20% VAT. So our starting point is that we know we've got 100% plus the 20% is equal to 120%. 20% was added. So what does this 600 represent? Well, this 600 represents the price with the VAT, which is that 120%. So our starting point is that 120% is equal to 600. So to find 10%, I need to divide by 12. Divide by 12. 120 divided by 12 is 10%. 600 divided by 12 is 50. 6, you could do that on the side if you wanted to. How many times is 12 going to 65? How many times is going to 650? And then the last little part is we need to get 100% by timesing by 10, timesing by 10. 10% divided times by 10 is equal to 100%. 50 times by 10 is equal to 500. 500 there. Super. Give you a second to get that down if you're not already. Okay. So we've got two questions here. Now they seem very similar, but the reason these are a little bit tricky is because you've got these 35%. So what I want you to do is I want you to do 15%. I want you to have a go at both of these here, but I want you to have a go at using the calculator method now. So using the multipliers. So have a go at both of these using the calculator method. So let's have a little look at these then. So this first one here says the number is increased by 35%. The result is 324. Work out the number, work out the original number. So here I have 100% plus the 35%, which is equal to 135%. Now this is the result, so it's saying that 135% is equal to 324. Now remember, to find our original amount, the easiest way, if we've got a calculator, is to divide by our multiplier. Now the multiplier for this is 1.35. So divided by 1.35 and divided by 1.35. Now the reason we do that is because if we have any percentage and we divide by the multiplier, it takes us back to 100. So 135 divided by 1.35 is 100. That's the point. And then for this one here, 324 divided by 1.35 is equal to 240. There, like so. So that's the first one, 3 marks for that. And these do come up all the time. Percentages is actually the highest, it comes up the most often in all of the, out of all of the topics. Okay, let's have a look at this one then. A shop had a sale and the prices were reduced by 15%. The shoes cost £38.25. What were the prices before the shoes? So it's been reduced by 15%. So this one here is 100%. Reduced minus 15% is equal to 85%. So it's saying that the £38.25 is that. So 85% is equal to £38.25. Now, if I want to find out my original amount, the easiest way to do this is, if I've got a calculator, is to divide by my multiplier. So divide by my multiplier, because I know if I divide any percentage by my multiplier, it takes me back to 100%. So 100% is equal to 38.25 divided by 0.85 is equal to £45. Brilliant. Very impressed with everybody at the moment. So 240 and 45. We'll have a go at one more. We won't do these ones. I think we'll be fine with those. We'll have a go at this one. This is worth 5 marks, okay? So I'll just talk you through this one. Naomi is given a 10% pay decrease. Unlucky for Naomi. Her new wage is $252. What would her weekly wage be if she instead received a 10% pay increase? So first of all, we've got to find the reverse percentage. Then we've got to do a percentage increase, and that's why it's worth 5 marks. Have a little go at that one yourself. I will go through it in a second. Think about what does that 252 represent? So let's have a little go at this one together then. So Naomi is given a 10% decrease. So what does that 252 represent? Well, she's given a 10% decrease. We know that it's 100%. Whoops. 100% minus 10% is equal to 90%. Now, we know that the 252 represents that 90%. So our starting point is 90% is equal to 252. So to get to my original amount, if I'm using a calculator, I need to divide by my multiplier. Now you might, I think this probably was on non-calculator, but I'll use the calculator methods. So divide by my multiplier, because I know if I divide by my multiplier, I always get back to 100%. Because 90% divided by 0.9 is equal to 100%. Then I'm dividing this by 0.9 as well. So 252 divided by 0.9 is equal to 280. So that was her original amount. That's what she was getting paid. Now the question didn't say what was her original amount. It says if she had a 10% increase, what would she get? Now a 10% increase would be if I've got 100% and an increase of 10% over here, which is equal to 110%. That's what I'm trying to find. So this is a multiplier is equal to 110 divided by 100 is equal to 1.1. So to find out what 110% is, I need to then times by 1.1, times by 1.1, 100% times by 110%, times by 1.1 is equal to 110%, and 280 times by 1.1 is equal to £308. Brilliant. So £308 is what she would have got with a 10% increase. Super. Let's just check that. £308, brilliant. Look, they use multiplier methods there. Okay. So, one last question to have a little go at. And this one here is tricky. So this is thinking about two different things we've looked at, compound interest and reverse percentages as well. So get this one down. This is a common question now. It comes up all the time. So what example are we on now? I think this is example, I think it might be example 6 or 7 for ones in our book. So get that one down. Simon invested an amount of money in a savings account at 0.5% annum, 0.5% per annum compound interest. So remember, per annum means year, interest means that it's an increase, and compound interest means that it's happening, you're getting interest on your previous interest. So at year 3, the amount in the savings was £12,180.90. Work out how much Simon has invested in his savings account. So, with this one here, we need to think about what our compound interest formula is, which is equal to my new amount is equal to my original amount times by your multiplier to the power of n, whereas n is the time period. In this case, it's the number of years. So what things do I know? Now, the first thing I don't know is my multiplier. I know that now, be careful. This isn't our original amount, is it? This here is our new amount, okay? So this here is our new amount. So we know that our new amount is equal to £12,180.90. I know that the number of years, n, is equal to 3 in this case. I don't know my multiplier yet, but I'm going to work that out now. So, my multiplier, now 0.5%, now be careful with that. That means my multiplier is going to be 100% plus 0.5%, which is equal to this is equal to 100.5%. Now if I want that as a multiplier, it needs to be 100.5 divided by 100, that's what percent means, out of percent, per out of 100, which is equal to 1.005. Okay, be careful with that. So this here is our multiplier. So then it just becomes like any other substitution where we substitute in and work backwards. So my new amount is equal to the £12,180.90. is equal to my original amount, which I don't know. Let's just call this, I don't know. Let's call it O. I'll call it OA. Times by my multiplier, which in this case is 1.005 to the power of n, which is 3. Now, if I want my original amount, I need to get rid of the multiplier to the power of n. So to do that, I need to divide both sides. Divide by 1.005 to the power of 3. And I also need to, this is the important part, divide by 1.005 to the power of 3. If I divide this side, it's going to give me just my original amount. But the key part is dividing that, your new amount, by the multiplier to the power of 3. So this is going to be equal to, I have to do it on the calculator. Get my calculator up. Whoops. There we go. So I need to do £12,180.90 divided by 1.005 to the power of 3, which in this case, oh, this is going to round up, isn't it? Notice that all of these round up. So if I want to do this in money, I have to round to 2 decimal places, which means that all of these will round up. So this will round up to 10, 10, 10, 10. It's going to round all the way up to 12,000 there. Okay. So my original amount is not 12,000. Oh yeah. So the original amount was £12,000. And here, look, because I'm trying to find my original amount, I need to divide by that multiplier to the power of 3. And it's all about that division, isn't it? There we go. So let's just check the answer. There we go, £12,000, brilliant. So if you are catching up with this, there are some questions. Have a little go at those. If you're catching up with this, there's some questions. Have a go at those. And if you're catching up, there are the answers.